Hello again and welcome to another episode of Character Creation. We are now in Classic World of Darkness, Gangrel. As you can see from the sides, the Gangrel symbol is the wolf. This is very appropriate for the Gangrel. The Gangrel are considered to be the animal clan. They're known for communicating with animals, conversing with animals, and even being animal-like themselves. The clan weakness of Clan Gangrel is that as they enter frenzy, they will start gaining animalistic traits. This could be something as simple as a tuft of fur on their ears or whiskers, to something as major as growing gills or a tail, possibly even wings. Creatures like chimeras and griffins could, in theory, have been Gangrel who have gone frenzy so many times that they have picked up that many adaptations of different animals. Yeah. Gangrel are very interesting from a storyteller point of view as well, because Gangrel have many... there are many sides of Gangrel. They're the common Gangrel that you know of that would turn into wolves or, creatures. But then there are also avian Gangrel that turn into birds, and marine Gangrel that turn into like sharks and other aquatic creatures. So from a storyteller point of view, Gangrel is a pretty good, something happened, it was a Gangrel. Like, oh, you fought a giant lizard. Yeah, it was actually just a Gangrel in the form of a lizard. So let's go ahead and make this character. We're going to name her Jade. We're going to make her a... We're going to make her a survivor and a martyr. From a roleplay point of view, this is a very good combination. Her nature being a survivor, she wants to survive things. Her demeanor, she's a martyr. So she's going to throw herself into danger, and her nature's then going to kick in to make her want to survive it. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and... Let's see. Let's make him Neil. Her sire's name is Neil. And let's say she's a... Let's say she's an X-Triad. So let's go ahead and give her some physical traits. We're just going to baseline this real fast. I've done the attributes a couple of times for y'all. Now, as you can see, she's pretty strong. She's pretty nimble, and she can take a hit. She's not very sociable, but she's not unsociable. And she's about average intelligence, but she's really good at perceiving things. Let's see. I'm going to rush through this one a little bit as well. Let's see here. Okay. There we go. So this character, her talents, she's pretty alert. She has a lot of perception. She has a lot of alertness. She has some athletics. She probably runs with the wolves type thing. She has some empathy for humans and for animals. And she has some basic streetwise. Actually, let's go ahead and take away her streetwise and put it into dodge. Let's give that to her dexterity. Say she's pretty good at dodging. For animal kindred, She has a 3. She probably has some animal, like some pets, like maybe some big dogs, maybe even some wolves that she has with her. Firearms, she's pretty good at shooting a gun. At 3, she probably doesn't have formal training, like she's probably not paramilitary or anything like that, but she's probably taken some like NRA gun classes. She probably qualifies for special carry permits, like for semi-automatics, probably concealed and or silenced as well. She has some basic stealth. Again, she's not camouflaged or anything, but she knows if it's too dark for her to see in, it's probably too dark for other people to see. And she has some survival skills. She can make it out in the wilds. Because of her alertness and her perception, I went ahead and gave her some investigation. I gave her some basic medical stat and some basic occult. Okay, so now let's go over to her disciplines. She has Animalism, Fortitude, and Protean. Animalism is very interesting. It allows you to talk to animals. At higher levels, it allows you to control animals. This is why I'm assuming that her dogs are probably actually wolves, because she probably just talks to wolves, because why not? Fortitude's a very interesting one. It is very similar to Potence, Clarity, and Auspex, where it doesn't actually give you... Well, actually Auspex does. So it's similar to Potence and Clarity from before, where Clarity makes you faster, Potence makes you stronger. Fortitude makes you be able to take more of a hit. It makes you more sturdy and makes you Fortitude. It gives you Fortitude. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Protean gives you animalistic traits. This is everything from growing claws to becoming an animal. So I'm going to say she's probably pretty good at talking to animals, and she probably can take a hit. She has some stamina. She probably can pump up her fortitude and take a nice little blow to the chest. But she's more trying to dodge. But she probably, since she doesn't have any brawl or melee skill, I'm going to say she probably doesn't grow claws or anything like that from Protean. Let's give her some background. Since we're using version 2 and not version 20, I'm going to go ahead and just say she has a herd. And we'll assume... Actually, let's go ahead and say that herd's allies. Let's change that herd to allies. And for her sake, I'm going to say that her allies are actually like... Actually, we can change that. So I'm going to say she has 5 ghouled wolves. Now, this could be a good or a bad thing. She will have to feed them blood. But since they're ghouled, they will get much larger than the average size. A ghouled rat, a rat probably about the size of a... Rats are probably about the size of a 64-ounce gas station cup. A ghouled rat can be about the size of, can be about a 40 to 60 pound dog size. So a ghouled wolf, wolf's already being around the 200, 300 pound dog, probably, this is going to sound really exaggerated, but at like biggest size, she's had them for a while, she's been feeding them blood for a while, they've been eating lots of meat, maybe about the size of a small rhinoceros. So we're talking like warg size things, if you've ever played D&D or anything like that. Like, they're bigger than people. Maybe like Twilight. Like, if you ever watched Twilight, the wolves from Twilight, they're bigger than people, they're huge, they're growling, they're really fast, they're really dangerous, they can tear a vampire to shreds. That she has about 5 of those as pets. Now, she does have to feed them blood once a month, but that's a little bit of blood once a month, not a really big deal. Although if she doesn't feed them, they could attack her. It is a slight thing. I'm going to say she's very courageous. But because she's courageous... I'm going to say she probably doesn't have a lot of self-control. She probably lives out on her own. That's why she's so good with survivalism and stuff, and has all those wolves. She probably lives by herself out in the woods. So she got some willpower. She doesn't have a lot of humanity. I'm going to show off this other trait real quick. We have knowledge of the occult. So let's say her first knowledge in the occult is going to be knowledge in... Come on, give me control. Knowledge in... kindred. So she knows about kindred vampire lore. And let's say her next thing's going to be lupine lore. So she knows vampire lore about vampires, etc., etc., and she knows lupine lore, so she knows about werewolves. Werewolves and vampires do not get along, pretty much like in every other series. The difference here, though, is Gangrel are probably the most peaceful with the werewolves. I know this is going to probably get me a lot of hate points, but if you look at the Twilight example, the Cullens in the werewolves, which actually weren't werewolves, got along, but they were constantly at edge. Like, they had a strenuous treaty where if one of them betrayed it, the others would just go ham on their ass. That's pretty much what you have here. Gangrel, as long as they don't piss off the lupine try not to piss off the Gangrel. But a werewolf will fuck up a vampire. Like, one-on-one, vampire very rarely will win. And werewolves will normally be in groups. So, whereas vampires are usually loners or in small groups, a vampire will have a herd of, or a werewolf would have a herd of werewolves at their side. Okay, let's go ahead and roll for blood. And we have, is that 9 or 6? That's a 9. That is very nice. Okay. So, she got a lot of blood in her as the start. We can give her some weapons. She probably has a gun. I'm not going to go ahead and fill that out. So we have 15 points to fill out throughout here. I'm going to go ahead and do that. We're going to give her a little bit of self-control. That doesn't improve her humanity now, because we've already done the virtue humanity slide. But it does give her some more self-control. And then we're going to put 2 more points into animalism. At level 4, animalism, I believe you can possess the body of an animal. So, yeah. And her wolves being ghouled, she could probably do it easier. So yeah, you could actually play this character, as I've said before. Although I would definitely suggest you build your own character if you want to try. It's just more fun that way. But yeah, so as I was saying, this was the Gangrel, the Animal Clan. They're very fun to play as characters. Although it can be a little weird once you start going into frenzy a couple of times, because you'll start losing social traits due to, hey, you have a tail, your appearance is probably going to look weird. Or if you have cute bunny ears, you're probably going to be trying to hide them, which might hurt your manipulation. So you'll start losing social traits as you start gaining animalistic traits. So if you want to become a gargoyle, or not a gargoyle, because there actually is a clan of gargoyles, if you want to become a chimera, you're not going out in public very often. So there's that. But anyway, that was Gangrel, and have fun.